Hi, my name's Ihshan Gumilar. The research that I'm currently doing in Auckland Bioengineering Institute in Empathic Computing Lab, as being mentioned in the title here. So I'm exploring connecting the brains via virtual eyes, specifically the eye gaze directions and interbrain synchrony. So in this research, let me review what we have done previously before we go into this research. So in our previous research, we have conducted research that we brought a couple of people, strangers, into our lab, and then they had an interactions inside the VR. So each person was represented as an avatar, and then they will see each other as avatar inside the VR. So while they were doing this activity, so the brains were being recorded simultaneously. And this is known as a hyperscanning. So hyperscanning study was previously or mostly conducted in an offline situation, like in the real world. And then they have found that as people have an interaction, the brains begin to synchronize, maybe during conversations between, like just looking at each other, but all of them were in the real world. And we were thinking, what if we could do in, like in a virtual reality? Then we came to this idea. So we brought the strangers into our lab, and then we asked them to wear VR. And then when we're measuring their brain activities inside the VR, actually they were just doing like a simple activity. They would just point their finger and then moving their finger, the other person's following. So basically the method has been established in the offline situation, but we brought that same method scenario into the VR. So interestingly, in our previous research, so the brains of these strangers who interact inside of virtual reality, the brain begins to synchronize after the first 4 minutes of interactions. So in other words, the number of brain synchronization increased as the strangers or these couples begin interactions in virtual reality. So having mentioned our previous funding, then we want to investigate further, because in online or daily communications, a lot of communicational cues that affect our communicational process, like eye gaze, our intonations, our gesture, and so on. So for this research, we want to look at that how different eye gaze conditions can affect a different level of brain synchronization. So in say, for example, in our daily communication, when we talk to someone else and then he or she, look at away, we feel that there is something, that make us uncomfortable, or maybe sometimes we feel maybe there is something wrong that we're talking about. So eye gaze plays an important role. So due to that, then in my research, this research is not completed yet. We are currently still doing an experiment, like getting participants. So we set up like we brought 2 people into a pair for each condition, a pair. So they're gonna interact again inside the VR, but they will be given like 3 different scenarios. When we're VR, I see the other person as if like, the eyes look that way, or we just call it as averted eyes. And then another condition, we ask them to keep looking at each other while moving their hand or pointing their arms. And then the eye condition, like here, like in the directed eyes. And then the other condition will be in the natural eyes conditions. So these situations will be tested in our research. And then we already set up this system. We have the eye tracking from 5 Pro Eye, STC 5 Pro Eye, and then we record EEG at the same time, and then everything is lined up. So hopefully, the finding of this research will be able to reveal how different eye gaze conditions affect different level of brain synchronizations in virtual reality. Thank you so much, and we look forward to having collaboration with all of you guys. Thank you. Bye.